Here's this thing that I talk about with publicity, advertising, publicity. So there's publicity, advertising, and educational sales. And here's the basics of how it works. Publicity and advertising and those are the three forms of marketing. When you do marketing, there's essentially three forms of marketing. Publicity, advertising, educational, and they're designed. They're designed to do certain things. Well, here's what they're designed to do. The need, the perceived need of the consumer relative to the obstacles divided by trust. This is the equation of why somebody will do something. Why an attorney will or will not refer you business. That's the equation right there. Now, there are better and worse attorneys. In other words, that's called a target market. Every product or service has a target market. McDonald's has a target market. In other words, it's people, it's certain groups and segments of a population that buy and utilize that product and service way more than the others. It's called a target market. Every product or service has a target market. And the defining characteristics of a target market are these factors. Demographics. There's certain demographics of people more likely to buy, of attorneys or chiropractic patients more likely to buy chiropractic or to work with referrals. Demographics is like age, sex, marital status, familial status, income, things like that, okay? Now, this is the why component, or excuse me, this is the who component. That's who buys. Then there's what's called the geographics, demographics, then there's geographics. That's where they come from. That's the distance they come to buy a product or service. Like a personal injury attorney, he's only going to work with certain chiropractors in certain distances from his office. So if you're marketing to people that are outside of your distance, even though you get their business, you won't get their business because you're too far away. So that's another category, is geographics. Demographics, geographics, psychographics. Geographics is where they buy. Psychographics is why they buy. Psychographics is lifestyle, attitudes, and beliefs. How hard is it to change somebody's lifestyle? How hard is it for anybody to change your lifestyle, your attitude, or your belief? How difficult is that? That's why businesses go broke. They try to spend money trying to change people's lifestyles, attitudes, or beliefs. You'll go broke before that happens. So the key to marketing is to find out who is already buying that product or service, and that's who you want to go to. Not everybody buys, in other words, not all attorneys will refer to chiropractors. Not all people will go to a chiropractor. Some psychographic profile of people will go not at all, some will go some, and some will go a lot. And it's based on, it's really the 80-20 rule. 80% of a segment will create 20% of a segment will create 80% of the business. It is not linear. So a small percentage of any segment, demographically, psychographically, will create 80% of your business.